You are Locked On Celtics Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, the Celtics back home, I'll say it right off the top. Great game, but not the result you want. Celtics, 40 at the half, 41 in the third quarter, took the lead by 7 in the fourth, but the Warriors able to do what the Warriors do, especially when they've got Steph Curry in the lineup. Celtics' first loss of the season on their home floor. Warriors continue to be Warriors on the road. You are locked on with the Locked On Celtics postcast. I'm Steve Lennox with you as we provide reaction to every Celtics game on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Celtics podcast feed, which you know is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. With our latest Locked On Celtics postcast, we're going to be talking about Jaylen Brown out of the lineup again, but how about Neemias Queta again coming through, second straight start, had a terrific fourth quarter, and might have grown a little bit, might have learned from a couple of little mistakes that cost baskets on second chance opportunities for the Warriors. Again, we're with you on the Locked On Celtics postcast. We want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation watching live on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Hit the comment button and join the Celtics conversation. Give us your one random thought on the Celtics' first home loss of the season. It can be anything. You can also hit me up on the X as well, at Lennox on Hoops, with questions, comments, or concerns. This latest episode of the Locked On Celtics postcast brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Create your account. Use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. So the Celtics, again, 3-1 on their just completed road trip. 2 of those victories in Charlotte. Victory against the Hawks by 30 just a couple of nights ago. Warriors entered hot as well. Again, no Jaylen Brown. Third straight game. Brown out with the hip flexor. Joe Mazzulla continues to say that it's day-to-day, continues to say that Jaylen Brown is working hard in his rehab. Warriors entered 6-1, winners of 4 in a row. Celtics, how about the first quarter? Celtics, number 1 in points per game. Warriors, number 3 in the NBA at 121.6. And how about the first quarter? The Celtics by 5, 24-19. Warriors in the first quarter, 1 of 11, 0 of 5 on threes to open up. Derrick White got off to a fantastic start, scoring 12 of the Celtics' first 14 points. Curry, Steph Curry, who's going to be 37 next March, got off to a slow start, but he's Steph Curry. We'll get into him more, but he only had 3 points, 3 assists, no three-point attempts in that first quarter. Jayson Tatum had a couple of free throws with about 17 seconds to go in the first. Celtics up by 5. Golden State did not score on its final possession. Warriors at the half. Again, 2 teams, 2 of the top 3 teams in scoring in the NBA. 24-19 after 1. The Celtics were held to 40 points over the first 24 minutes of the game. Golden State had an 11-point lead going into the locker room. Celtics down at that for just the third time in their first 9 games. And Golden State outscoring the Celtics 32-16 in that second quarter. Kyle Anderson knocked down 3 straight threes on 3 straight possessions for Golden State. He had 9 for the quarter. Kuminga with 8. And again, Curry, 3 points, 3 assists, 3 steals in the first half. White in the second quarter, after getting off to a great start, missed all 5 field goal attempts in that second quarter. And Tatum was just 1 of 2 in the second quarter. And Mike Breen said it on the ESPN broadcast. Curry at that point, just 2 shots, had the ball in his hand, hit on a 3. Warriors up by 4. And then late in that second quarter, Moody knocked down a 3. They've got some great role players right now on this team. They've all bought in. Moody, then a rebound hit at the buzzer. Warriors closing out the second quarter on a 9-0 run. And Golden State's bench 28 points in the first half. The Celtics, 2 of 8 on threes in the second. 7 of 18 field goals. Third quarter, again, Celtics 40 in the first half, 41 points in the third. And the Celtics just kept knocking down three-pointers. Curry had 11 in the third, knocked down a couple of threes. Tatum knocked down 4 of the Celtics three-pointers. The Celtics knocked down 10 threes in that third, again, scoring 41 points. and they were within one going to the fourth quarter, and the crowd was in it. Hield hit a three. Warriors up 7. Final 2. Tatum to Walsh. Tatum has trust in Jordan Walsh. Seen that in recent games. Walsh did a nice job. He was in the near corner. Didn't put up the shot. Gave it back to Tatum. Tatum knocked down a 3 2-point game. Pritchard then knocked down a 3 1-point game. Kuminga a 3. Warriors back up by 4, and Pritchard answered again. Bill Raftery likes to call it onions, and that's what Pritchard had late. 1-point game after 3. Tough loss, great game. We get to your comments here in just a moment. Queta, great fourth quarter. Queta 1 of 2 at the line early in the fourth, game tied at 82. White knocked down a 3, came alive again in that fourth quarter. Celtics up by 1. White another 3, 6th of the game. Ended up with a season-high 7 threes. 17 threes on White, 6 of the game. Then White had a pull-up, and the Celtics were up by 3, led by as many as 7. Queta, great effort. Ended up getting fouled, hit a free throw, missed a free throw. Celtics by 2 at 88-86. Celtics got to stop. Hauser missed on a 3. Queta was there for the putback dunk. Celtics, just over 8 to go, up by 4 points. Warriors a turnover out of a timeout. Queta helped create the turnover, and then he had another dunk. 6-point lead. Curry missed on a 3 in that fourth quarter. White, his 7th 3, 7-point game. That was the largest lead for the Celtics in the fourth quarter at 95-88. Queta had a block on Curry. Queta then fouled on a 3. They challenged on an illegal screen, unsuccessful challenge. Doris Burke didn't like it, and guess what? There was movement. You saw it on the replay. Curry at the line, hasn't missed all season long, knocked down all 3 free throws. And that was big. 2-point game at that point in time. Final 5 minutes, Celtics up 95-93. Holiday a layup. Celtics plus 4. Curry a 3, 4th of the game, 1-point game. Holiday a miss. Wiggins at the other end for Golden State, a basket. Warriors up 1. Tatum, first basket of the fourth quarter. That put the Celtics up 1. Then Curry had a layup at the other end. Draymond Green with the assist. Golden State by 1. Warriors the first team to 100. Al Horford missed on a 3. Buddy Hield. Big part of this team this year for the Warriors. Hield with a basket against Derrick White. Warriors by 3. White then missed on the other end. Curry a drive to the basket. Got inside the paint. Warriors by 5. Tatum had a great move with a fake just inside the free throw line. Hit on the shot. Made the free throw. Celtics within 2. Looney put back for the Warriors. Golden State up by 4. A little breathing room. Holiday to Queta on a dunk. Again, a 2-point game. Queta with 14 at that point. 8 of his 14 coming in the fourth quarter. Tatum had a miss. Warriors made him pay. Hield hit a 3. 111-104. And for a game that was 24-19 after the first quarter, Pritchard, somehow, some way. Before that, Horford hit a 3. That made it a 4-point game with about 41 to go, 41 seconds. Pritchard fouled on a 3. He knocked down all 3. I see it at the college level all the time. Defenders fouling 3-point shooters. It happens in the NBA. It seems like a minimum 2 to 3 times on both sides of the game. Combined, 2 to 3 times a game. Hitting shooters in the act of shooting a 3-pointer. So Pritchard knocked down all 3. 3-point game, 16.1. The Warriors 29-9 over the final 5+ minutes. Green missed on a free throw, kept the door open, but then hit the second. And that made it a 4-point game. 118-112 the final as the Warriors pick up the victory. Celtics, again, up 5 after 1, down 11. Third time this season, down at the half through their first 9 games. The Celtics down by 11. Warriors got up by 14 in that third, but the Celtics, again, a great game. We're going to get into the comments because I want to hear from you. But that's just sort of the recap here in segment number 1. As the Celtics return home from a 3-1 road trip, their losses now against Indiana and Golden State. 1 on the road in overtime, 1 at home on Wednesday night against the Golden State Warriors, who are winning on the road. I mean, they just keep winning. Pascal, that was a hell of a game. Pascal, right there with you. That's the first time I'm seeing your first comment of the game. I love how you welcome yourself in. The Steve, I appreciate that, Pascal. Always a pleasure. Warriors have some real good players, and they all play hard. Yeah, I don't want to say I mean, Golden State over the years, Kerr, he got booed at the beginning, rightfully so. He waved to the crowd. But the Warriors, I mean, it's kind of what the Celtics are right now. They hit a lot of threes. They've had some different. I mean, Klay Thompson is gone. They've had players come in and buy in. I mean, Wiggins has been there for a while now. Draymond Green, Mike Breen talked about, his career with the Golden State Warriors. And I thought about it earlier today. Draymond Green, you can not like him as a player, but you can respect his talent. And I got to think down the road, Draymond Green is in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield. I absolutely have to think that. I mean, you got to give the guy credit. But the Warriors, again, sort of like the Celtics. You add pieces that are going to fit in with your stars. Curry, again, he's going to be 37, but he's still got an awful lot of talent. Celtics look caught off guard to start, but made a great comeback. Yeah, and it wasn't a sloppy game. I mean, Doris Burke was mentioning it. The Warriors can defend. They can absolutely defend from that standpoint. And not that that's different from the past, but it's just interesting the way this Golden State team is playing. So Celtics up, just scoring 24 points in the first quarter, 16 in the second, 40 points, and then Celtics did that third quarter. Yes, you can get back into games by knocking down threes. The Celtics didn't have enough on the other end. They had some stops, and yes, you can hit threes, and you can go almost 3 for 2, and you chip in that way, but you also have to get stops, and they did on a couple of occasions, third quarter and the fourth quarter, but it wasn't extended. It was Golden State going on those runs. When the Celtics got up 7, blink of an eye, the Warriors were right back in there, right back in their face. And when the Celtics truly needed that stop, there was one point, and John Corrales I saw this, and usually I don't go to the X and Twitter late in a game because I'm trying to put my thoughts together and everything to get on the air within minutes of the final buzzer. But John Corrales did mention, and he'll have Locked On Celtics and post-game reaction into tomorrow morning. But John mentioned, I think basically reading that, Queta went for a block, missed it, and that allowed a player underneath, and it might have been Looney, to get the basket. And then Queta understood he had to stay home a little bit, not just going for the block. But again, Drew Holiday looked for him. He had a couple of dunks. He had a couple of alley-oop dunks throughout the course of the game. Celtics 41-31 advantage in the third, but Golden State 1-point lead going to the fourth quarter. Crowd was into it, but Golden State putting up 36 points in that fourth quarter. And in the fourth quarter, Steph Curry came alive. Really did in the second half. He had 10 in the fourth, and Curry, going to the third quarter stats, he had 21 points in the second half. And Curry, again, it's not like Steph Curry hit 21 of his 27 in the second half. And it's not like Curry's, 12 in the first quarter, 9 in the second quarter, 15 in the third, like he used to do. And I haven't seen Steph Curry play that much. A little bit of an ankle issue in recent games, got back in the lineup the other night. But Curry still has that ability. And it looks like he's going to take it right to the end of his career when he needs to get involved. And he was involved in the offense an awful lot. Only had 2 turnovers. Just looking at Curry here for a moment, bear with me. 9 assists, 7 rebounds. Ended up with 4 steals, which I think tied a career high. Mike Breen may have alluded to that on the ESPN broadcast. A great game. Really a great game. But, you end up on the losing end. First time this season playing a team against the Western Conference. I'm going to get into the Western Conference, Eastern Conference coming up in segment number 2 with NBA Random Thoughts. Accidental migrant. Think they fell behind too much, and that 16 points second quarter was too much to make up for. I agree but disagree. I don't think, again, just like in that Indiana game last week where they were down, 24 in the third quarter, knocking down threes, I don't think they expanded way too much energy because they were up 7 in that fourth quarter. Again, Golden State can hit quick. You miss, they'll go the other way. And again, I think there are a lot of similarities. You know better than me right now, but a lot of similarities. Golden State teams of the past, Celtics teams over the last couple of years. I think there are a lot of similarities. Hit the three, defend, ball screen, set good screens, and things like that. I'm going to get into the Celtics bench coming up in the next segment. Plus, again, we're going to have NBA random thoughts as well. Steve Lennox with you, Locked On Celtics postcast. Celtics, Warriors, great game at TD Garden Wednesday night. Unfortunately, Celtics end up on the losing end. Glad to have you on board. As always, we like to recognize our everydayers and our first-timers as well. Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day. We are presented by Hims. Guys, ever feel like you need a little boost in the bedroom? It's time you stop worrying about your performance and get Hims so you can feel confident knowing you can get hard and stay hard whenever you're in the mood. Hims is changing men's health care by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your own couch. Hims able to provide access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like chewable hard mints and Viagra and Cialis and the generics for up to 95% cheaper. The process is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor visits. Just answer a series of questions on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you in discreet packaging for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. That's hims.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/lockedon. All right, back at it. Again, if you're with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, hit the comment button and join the Celtics conversation. The Celtics bench, especially in the first half, I mentioned 28 points for Golden State's bench in the first half of the game. I don't want to say the Celtics bench was non-existent. Pritchard, 32 minutes. And we're going a little stats in the no stats zone here in segment number 2. He missed 7 3-point attempts, knocked down 3, was 3 of 3 at the line, and that was when he was fouled on the three-pointer. Pritchard had 16 off the bench and 24 total for the Celtics. Now, not a high volume of scoring, especially when you see the other side. Payton, 6. Hield, 16. That was huge. Kuminga, 10 off the bench. They had 3 players. Anderson knocked down 3 threes in a row at one point. He had 11. So they had 3 players in double figures off the bench. The Celtic role players, Walsh played 8. Kornet played 14. Kornet had 3 rebounds, was 2 of 2 at the line, 0 of 2 from the field. And then you had Queta in the starting lineup. If Brown is in there, again, Jaylen Brown missing his 3rd straight game. If you get 28 minutes up from Queta off the bench, he's 6 of 11 overall, 2 of 4 at the line. He had 14 points, 8 rebounds, and a couple of block shots as well. So Queta, a normal bench player, starting his 2nd straight game in the NBA. He's come off the bench throughout the course of his early NBA career. But in that third quarter, again, Joe Mazzulla going, Tatum, and 4 reserves. They get on the floor, and again, similar to the Warriors. Warriors a couple of times first to loose balls. Celtics don't allow that to happen a whole heck of a lot. So again, you're not that you're looking at a mirror image, and I don't think it's a stretch, though. These two teams are very similar in so many different ways. You start with the three-point line, and you sort of go from there. But just overall, the way the Celtics played, the bench, the scoring was obviously, to a certain degree, one-sided. The way it was on Wednesday night. A little bit one-sided. But it doesn't mean the Celtics bench wasn't productive, because they were. Let's go to the other box score for just a second, because I want to see something, so you can find it real quick. Yeah, okay. Pritchard. Yeah, they were in the minus column. A lot of them, plus minus column for the Celtics bench players. But again, I think they did certain things that, don't show up in the box score. Again, trying to get to the loose ball, getting on the ground for loose balls as well. So it was just interesting today. But 3 players for the Warriors off the bench, not saying it was the biggest difference, but it was certainly a difference in the game. Around the league with my 3 random thoughts. Entering tonight, only 2 teams in the East. The perfect Cavaliers and the Celtics were above 500. 2 teams entering Wednesday night in the Eastern Conference above 500. 3 teams, Nets, Knicks, and Heat, at 500 entering Wednesday. Celtics host the Nets Friday night at TD Garden. The rest, and not really worthy of mention, all below 500. Top 8 teams in the West, above 500. I like Doris Burke as an analyst. I really do. Jay Billis is growing on me. I still love Breen, Van Gundy, and Mark Jackson. That's not going to happen again. Breen can work with anybody and make them look good. I think Doris, when she wants to make a point, she not only makes the point, but she backs it up. And to me, that's a very good analyst. Christopher Moltisanti. If you don't know who Christopher Moltisanti is, you can look him up, and you should watch The Sopranos. You should know the name from The Sopranos. But Christopher Moltisanti promoting the Emeritus Cup right now is not really going to alter how I watch NBA games over the next couple of weeks. That's just not going to happen. Cavaliers 8-0 entering Wednesday night on the road against the Pelicans. Thunder 7-0 in Denver against the Nuggets. We don't scoreboard watch a lot here. We're into November. We haven't even hit Thanksgiving. But let's just scroll real quick. OKC on the road, up 10 against the Nuggets in Denver. Where are we for the Cavaliers? They stay perfect. 131-122 victory on the road against the Pelicans. So the Cavaliers are now 9-0. Cavaliers Celtics do meet this month before Thanksgiving. I believe it's the 19th. Celtics again, second loss of the season. I can't even call it a tough one. It was a terrific game. Celtics simply come out on the losing end. Down 1, 7-point lead. Down 1 at the start of the 4th. Up 7 in the 4th. Lose by 6. And again, the Warriors closed it out in strong fashion. Numbers of the night. More thoughts on JB. Brown out of the lineup. Celtics scored 41 in the 3rd after scoring 40 in the first half, in the first 24 minutes. We're going to give you more numbers of the night. We're going to look ahead as well because there's something coming up for the Celtics on the schedule they haven't had so far this season. We'll discuss that. We're going to discuss that next. Locked On Celtics postcast, Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day. I think we're kind of on track right now. Again, if you're with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, hit the comment button and join the conversation. Locked On Celtics postcast brought to you by Built Rewards. Listen up, renters. Ever feel like you are stuck in this loop of rent payments, just watching your money vanish into thin air? Well, it's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. You can do just that. That's where Built Rewards comes in. Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Every month, pay your rent and watch that Built points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points toward a flight or a hotel stay with 500 plus airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties. You can also use your points to book fitness studio classes, redeem them toward a future rent payment. They are designed to meet your lifestyle. Pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built points have been consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. Earn points by paying rent right now when you go to built.com/LockedOnNBA. That's joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. Again, www.joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA to start earning points with your rent payments today. First time we've got back-to-back sponsors on the Locked On Celtics postcast. Also brought to you by Game Time. You know Game Time if you're part of the Locked On Sports Podcast Network. Game Time Picks filters out Game Time Picks is able to filter out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you do not have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The first edition of the tournament, Choque de Gigantes, is going to be taking place at Lone Depot Park in Miami from November 8th through November 10th, featuring the top leagues from Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. Game Time is offering 10% off the Choque de Gigantes tickets. The duration of the deal now runs through November 8th. Game Time, Game Time offers curated deals to make it easier to find the best prices on great seats, the super deal, and seat views before you buy, and the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, and job loss protection as well. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create your account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Again, terms to apply. Again, create your account. Use redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. So the Celtics won more at home. We'll get into the matchup against the Nets coming up here in just a few moments. Getting into some of the numbers of the night and getting back into the box score here in just a moment. Celtics now 7-2. Lost to the Warriors, ending a 3-game win streak for the Celtics. The Warriors are now 7-1. They've won 5 in a row, and they're a perfect 5-0 away from home. Neither team got to their season average in points. Celtics came in averaging almost 124 a game, score 112, and scored just 40 points in the first half, 41 and 30 in the second half, third and fourth quarters respectively. So the Celtics, again, down by 11, down by as many as 14 as well. Jaylen Brown out again. Just to reiterate, Joe Mazzulla saying and having some fun with the media, when we talk, it's usually one mumbling at the other. And Mazzulla basically saying he's doing the things he needs to do to get back in the lineup. They want him as close to 100% as possible. Day to day. When you hear day to day, you're understanding it's not going to be through the next couple of weeks. Can he return against the Brooklyn Nets? We're going to see. So basically right now, Celtics are the same spot they were a year ago, 7-2. Then they rattled off 6 straight wins after dropping back-to-back games. So 2 losses, 1 at home now, 1 on the road for the Celtics. The Celtics knocked down the 10 threes in 1 quarter. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Overall, Celtics in the loss. Golden State as a team, Golden State as a team, 14 of 34. The Celtics still took 20 more threes than the Warriors. I really thought that would be 45 plus for each. Celtics ended up 35.2% on the three-point line, knocking down 19, but again, 54 three-point attempts, 90 field goal attempts overall. So they made 38 field goals, 19 were from behind the three-point line. Celtics out-rebounded 53-47 overall. Celtics did have 22 assists. Drew Holiday, 6 points, 3 of 11, 0 of 6 on the three-point line. Again, Derrick White, season high 7 threes, scored 26. Pritchard off the bench. 4 players. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players, 4 starters. Pritchard off the bench, all scoring in double figures. Celtics 17 of 21 at the free throw line. I bring that up because they went to the line 21 times, Warriors 24 times. It was matched up evenly on so many levels in this game. Celtics got 36 points in the fourth quarter, took a 1-point lead. Again, they outscored the Celtics 23-9 over the final 5+ minutes. It was about 5:22 from the 6:09 mark of the fourth quarter to the 47 seconds left in the fourth quarter. So that was over a 5-minute, 22-second stretch in that one. So Celtics lose, second loss of the season. Never lost more than 2 in a row last year. I've not lost 2 in a row so far this season as well through their first 9. What's on tap? Celtics home again against the Nets on Friday night. First matchup of the season with Brooklyn. On the road for their second regular season meeting against the Bucks. That will take place Sunday afternoon in Milwaukee. Celtics played the Hornets back-to-back games Friday, Saturday this past week. But they'll play Milwaukee for a second time this season. Then they'll play the Hawks for a second straight time. And then they'll play the Nets for a second straight time. Those 2 games next week in Atlanta, and then or at home against Atlanta, and then in Brooklyn against the Nets. So there you're going to have 3 games in a row where you're playing a team for the second time. And we'll see how the Celtics do. 2-0 so far against Milwaukee and Atlanta. And again, that second back-to-back, Atlanta and Brooklyn next Tuesday and Wednesday. Hey, don't forget, your favorite podcast is now a newsletter. If you didn't know that, you know that now. Yes, indeed. You are aware of that. Your favorite podcast is now a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Celtics Daily Newsletter, one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now, LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with all the new free Locked On Celtics information with the Locked On Celtics newsletter as well. Jayson Tatum again going for 30 or more for the Celtics. Was sort of quiet in that third quarter. But again, overall, Tatum ends up with 32 for the game. So, Tatum, let's just go through this real quick. 37, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth time in 9 games. 30 or more for Tatum. 30 or more. Take that from your leading scorer, right? As always, we want to thank you, our listeners on the podcast, those folks with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel when we go live within minutes of the final buzzer of each and every Celtics game throughout the regular season and the playoffs as well. We do thank you for making Locked On Celtics with John Corrales and the Locked On Celtics postcast your first listen every day. Back with you Friday as the Celtics will look to avoid a second straight loss, and they will play the Brooklyn Nets for the first time this season. Don't forget, we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and also on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. We do go live within minutes of the final buzzer with our latest Locked On Celtics postcast. Again, thanks to our sponsors as well, Hims, Built Rewards, and Game Time. Locked On Sports Boston, number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team, your Celtics, every day.